All right, I guess we're all set. Let's do this. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Pierre, your host. And today we are going to continue on this brand new canvas. So first of all, let's do like we usually do. Go over to the computer and check out what we did yesterday. So it was a relatively easy day yesterday. What did we do? We looked and first of all, we took down the masterpiece, that painting that we had worked on for the last 3 weeks. Finished that off last Friday. So we rolled that up, taking our time, of course, to enjoy it one last time. There we go. And then we unrolled a new canvas, measured it out, 57 inches by 40 inches. And then we cut it up, and as you very quickly saw, what we did is we put on another coat of gesso on top of the industrial one that was already on the canvas. So what are we going to do today? Well, it's very simple. We're going to lay out the new painting, and we're going to start with the background. So let's not waste any time. I am going to get a pencil out, my ruler, and actually I'm going to do a frame like I do on a lot of my paintings. I'm going to do like a little frame that will be painted. And the best way to mark that off, the quickest way, is by using a compass. So let me just decide what I will do. Something like this. This looks like a pretty good distance. Okay, so I'll just measure that off. Basically on all 4 corners. And I am not really all that picky. If I'm off by 1/8 of an inch, really it doesn't bother me. So I'll just put a little mark there just in case my ruler isn't long enough. Just make 2 little pencil marks where they cross off here. I'll definitely need one towards the middle, little mark right there. And then here the same thing. There's 2 little pencil marks, and where they cross is where we will start our frame. Another one right here. Same thing in this corner down here. Very good. There we go. Now I'll just pencil this in. Okay. And I'll pencil this one in as well. Check out the computer, make sure that the camera and my brain are on the same wavelength. They are. So let's continue with our layout. So I have a pretty good idea what I'm going to paint. And it is going to be basically a variation of grays. I am not going to use any color, or very little color. I'm not sure exactly. Got to stay open-minded, but there we go. That's for the frame. And like I said, I am not going to use that many colors because I'm just very quickly going to show you the paintings that we did since we started streaming. I mean, these are the paintings that we've done since we came out of lockdown, the first one. And as you can see, they are very colorful. I love colors. and different types of paintings, as you'll see. And these are all paintings that we did together during my streams, you know, basically 5 days a week. And this is the last painting we did for the last 3 weeks. So you can see colors all over the place. And not just colors, but incredibly vivid, vibrant colors, right? Psychedelic. So that is why my brain is colored out, and I need to reset the hard drive back to 0. So this next painting is going to be definitely in grays. At least I'm going to try. I'm not used to doing it that often. I have done a few paintings before, but not that many. So anyways, let's get back to the layout. So I am basically going to just very quickly sketch off a very flexible, just to have an idea of what I'm going to be doing. I am also thinking of, okay, I'm just going to do it rather than talk about it. It's just a rough sketch, just to give me get the proportions before I start putting down the background colors. Okay, something like that basically. Just erase a little bit here just to get it right if possible. Step back. Wow, and I think this is going to even be bigger. Something like that, I guess. And I'm really not going to talk about the painting. I'm just going to do it, and eventually maybe I'll talk about this and that, but I mean, I'm not if I could speak beautifully about what I do, I'd probably have a different job. I'd be a poet, or I'd be an orator, or a politician. So I express myself visually, and that's what I'm going to do. So, as I said, let's get to the background. And for that, I do have to sketch a little more, don't I? Okay, so let me just check this out, think this through. Okay. Something like that. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing now, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so this gives me a general idea of more or less what I want to do. And I am going to start right off by doing the background. So for that is fairly easy. Since everything is going to be in grays, all I need is white and black paint. So here's my white paint and my black paint. Okay. So I know exactly what's going to happen for the next few days. For the next week, or as long as this painting takes, I know that I am not going to stop bitching. I'm not going to stop bitching about these kind of paint jars. Here's my white paint. I have about that much left over. And to get to it, I'm going to have to dig in there with my knife. I'm going to get paint all over my hands. It's going to be a friggin' pain in the neck when I have other jars. This is the way they used to make them, much wider, where you can reach in with a spoon and get to the last drop without putting paint all over your hands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer what's in here, and I'm going to put it in here and get this out of the way. And you know what? I'm going to have to do the same thing a little bit later with the black paint, because it has that same stupid little nozzle, and they think they're cute. Like they do this little, oh, you can like plug, you can close it afterwards. Oh, sure, it works really well. Look at that. Oh, boy. And just guess what? All the paint dried right in there. Try to get the paint through that little, what is that, 3/16 of an inch? Come on. Jeez, really. So anyways, I'm going to try to be careful, because when I get a little excited like this, I have a tendency of hurting myself. So I'm going to be careful cutting through this plastic. There you go. So let's just transfer this from one jar to the other. So scooping all this paint in there. You know what? Since we do share everything in the studio together, I might as well bring camera number 1 and show you exactly what I'm doing. Not that it's excessively thrilling, but what the heck. So, grabbing all this paint from one jar, just putting it in the other. And now I can get the last drop of paint. Because, I mean, let's face it, paint is not cheap. I mean, if you just do it, paint on weekends, or, if you're a Sunday painter, okay, so no big deal. It's a nice investment. I highly recommend everybody to paint. It's such an enjoyable what is it, pastime, I guess you'd say. There we go. But for us who paint like almost every day, 5 days a week, well, it can be rather expensive pastime. So let's get back here. I'm going to get rid of these two guys. And you know what? I'm going to do the black paint right away as well. Like that, I won't have to bitch again in the next few days about getting my hands dirty with the black paint. So let's do that. I have a jar back here in my kitchen area that I was saving just to put water in it, but I guess now I'll use it to put my black paint, which is right here. And I'm going to do the same thing, just cut through the plastic carefully again. So let's get back to camera number 1. There we go. Just cut through this. There we go. Okay. So, got that done. Let me just wash off my knife here. Otherwise it won't cut next time I need it. There we go. Very good. And just like before, let me just wipe clean my little spoon here. There we go. And let me just get all the black that I can out of this part. Put it in this jar, I guess. I mean, can you see the difference? I mean, Jesus. I can barely get my spoon in this. And then when they add on those stupid little caps on top of that. Anyways, let's not waste too much time. Let me just get the black paint in here. Now, you might think that I should call these companies and tell them about it, try to fix their problem, but I called the representatives here in France of Liquitex because I thought that I had noticed that the opacity of the black paint had completely changed when they changed the format of their jars, which means that it was a real pain in the neck. So I called them up. Of course, I fell on an answering machine, told them about my problem. They never, of course, bothered to call back. So I have a feeling no matter what kind of a paint company I call to bitch about the size of their jars, I'm sure I won't get much of an answer. So I didn't bother. Now, of course, if I wrote a formal letter, maybe, but who has the time for that shit? I don't. Okay, so let's get all this out of the way. So, very nice. Got a nice jar of paint, black, white, easy to reach. Now, where am I? Let me get my cameras back in their positions. There we go. And let me just again take a look at what I'm going to be doing here. Okay, I'm going to start with the lighter background color. So what do I need? I need a palette, of course. And I'm going to need, like we were saying, just black and white paint. Okay, there we go. So, I'll start off with the white paint. So I'm going to go with light gray as a background and little by little go darker and darker as I come forward. So I'm going to start off with a really very light gray background. And look at the surface to be done. Decide what paintbrush I'll use, probably this one here. What other choices do I have? Or I could use this one here, which is the same size except it's I guess I'll go with this newer one. Okay, so very good. Let's work this out. I'm going to bring over my bar stool over here a little closer. Like that, we can mix the paint together. I'll use, getting paint all over myself. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Okay, what am I doing here? I'm going to get rid of all this. Get rid of this. I want to put my keyboard back on the table, because this is the keyboard I use to switch cameras with. Like that. So, let's bring this guy down here. Of course, I forgot the jar. The jar of water. There we go. And let's get a light gray going here. Let's bring this up a little bit and just zoom in a little bit. There we go. So I do want to be careful because to me the background is always very important. And look at that. I even got some purple in there, which is not at all what I want. Is today the kind of day that's going to turn into a nightmare? I wonder. And this is not working out at all for me. God. Okay, let's not swear. Let's not swear. There are no problems, only solutions. So, we are going to take another palette. We are going to try to peel off this layer of paint so that we can get to a nice clean palette underneath, if it wants to cooperate, which so far it's not. So, usually this kind of peels off easier than God. Today everything's giving me some sort of a hard time, but I don't care. I'm in no hurry. This is what happens, right? Sometimes things go smoothly and sometimes they don't. No big deal. But I'm not going to give up because I do want to. I know once I can get this to unstick a little bit, I'll be able to get the rest to come off. At least theoretically. Jesus Priest, what the hell is going on here? Ugh. There we go. Jeez. Okay, I'll come back to the camera number one, and this is what I was trying to do, is just grab a hold of this. I could just kind of peel it off like that. I mean, it is awfully thick, I must say, but still. Maybe the lesson in this is not to let it get too thick. I mean, I don't know. I see light blue, gold, white, purple. Maybe that's what the problem is. Had too many coats of paint there. Still giving me a hard time. Well, I don't think I've ever had so much problems getting rid of an old coat of paint before. Jeez. All right. All that to get the nice, well, okay, so let's get back to our paint. I'm going to put a little bit of this gray paint in here, and the purple side, the purple that got mixed in, I'm going to just leave it on the other palette. And I'm going to switch back here. Where am I? Over here. And I'm going to just make some more paint. Well, I didn't expect things to go quite like that today. But that's the way. Jaja planned it. That's the way. Okay. Very good. Boy, I'm exhausted already. So let's go back to camera number 1. And let's try to get this nice gray paint together here. Since it is the background, it doesn't have to be that thick. I don't think this will require 2 coats, since there is that white gesso behind it. So, unlike a color where you don't want to see the gesso, this will just blend right in. Okay, I think that's enough to start off with. If I need to add more water, I will. Okay, so let's so like usual, I'm going to start on the upper left-hand corner. Like that, I'm sure I won't get my hands in the paint. And I'm just going to work my way down and around. Now I know this paint is going to dry darker than it is, so I just want to make sure that I'm not starting off too dark. And I think I'm hesitant, and I think I'm going to just come back here, and I think I'm going to add a little more white. I don't want the painting to start off too dark. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to go darker and darker and darker. And so, just going to add a little more white to that. And hopefully that should do the trick. Like I've often said, if I screw up the background, the whole painting will be screwed up for me. So I have to be happy with the background. Otherwise I'll be unhappy throughout the whole painting, no matter what other people think. I do have to please myself as well. So that looks much better, even though it's a little thick. I'll just add a little border right there. Well, I was kind of chilly earlier because I washed my hair today, and there is no heat in this building, and it's very damp. But believe me, I'm warmed up now. Not to mention sweaty and hot. Okay, this paint looks just right. So, I'll just wipe my hand here. Wouldn't want to get any paint on these beautiful fingers. And let's go back to camera number 1. And let's continue our background. Yes, this is a little bit lighter. I don't have to be this picky, but it's force of habit. Let's put it that way. And there is going to be that border. There'll be a black line separating the frame from the main painting, but like I said, this force of habit, I like keeping things. Plus, it's a good workout to make a steady line. And like I say, all this is just background, so it doesn't have to be all that precise. And I'm just going to do this vaguely like this. And you know what? I'm going to put a little bit of music. These are my friends. Diego is on the violin. Jacek is on the guitar. And Lucien is on the drum. So let's listen to a little music as I continue on the background. Oh, I'll just pull the camera back a little bit so I don't have to stop every 10 seconds. Just, there we go. Oops. Sorry about that. Turned everything off. I was thinking about my painting more than the stream. Okay, so where are we at? So we have come to the conclusion of our stream. I am just very quickly going to paint and night. All right. Except that tomorrow being Thursday, our stream will be in French. So brush up on your lessons from when you were back in college or high school. And give an opportunity for our friends from the Quebec region to enjoy also the show in French. All right, there we go. My brushes and knives and spoons. Dry my hands before I go to the computer. I'll move the camera back here so we can see exactly what we did. We have two backgrounds, right? The upper lighter gray and then the lower gray as well, which will be a different scene. And there you have it. So I'm going to step back for a second and enjoy this as well. Jesus, hand, paint, paint, paint. So what's it look like from over here? Well, what can I say? It's just a background, but I'm happy with it. And tomorrow we'll work on finishing both backgrounds as well, and then we'll put the details of the lighter top part and then the details to the lower part. Then we'll do that and this and that. You got it. You understand. So, my friends, where are we at here? We have ended our show. I want to thank you. Is that paint all over my nose again? Ah, la, 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 la. It seems like every time I say goodbye, I end up cleaning myself. Okay, so we've shared everything, my makeup, and the background. So now I have a nice little pink nose. Looks like I drank a lot of red wine. It's been a while since I've drank some red wine. Now that I think about it, I feel like having a glass, but I don't think I will. Anyways, I want to thank you for joining me on the stream again. And I hope you'll join me tomorrow morning for our leçon de français at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Until then, I'm going to leave you with my schedule, and I'm going to say goodbye by saying, ciao, mes amis.